Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Is everyone enjoying the Euros as much as we are? Because we really are.
And I'm going to be sad when the group stage is over because I really enjoy, we'll be watching, we're having a great time so far. We kind of want to check in on the games. We are going to make other videos that are not Euros. Like I might do wags of the Euros, like maybe, you know how we did couple relationships. Maybe it'll just be wags, like some of the partners who are coming to support the players. I'm thinking about doing that video. But I guess, we will start with the games from Group B that happened on Thursday. And two exciting games. I guess we'll start with the big Spain versus Portugal game. And this game had a whole new context once the news came out about the tragedy that involved Portugal. Because I believe it was the morning/late night that everyone heard about the passing of a famous Portuguese soccer player.
Much more than football, Portugal pays respect to Diogo Jota at Euro 2025. Hard day for us. Portugal's tribute to Jota at Euro 2025.
Yeah, so as we know, Spain was playing the women's Portuguese team, but the news came out that Diogo Jota and his brother had passed away in a car accident in Spain. From what I've read about the story, he was very well known, obviously in Portugal, but he also played in the Premier League for Liverpool, and also that Liverpool just won the title this year. I guess it would be 2025, and that's major, and it's like winning the Super Bowl, and for Americans. And he had also just gotten married 2 weeks ago.
Ugh, that's awful.
Yeah, and that news came out right before the women played Spain in the Euro. So suffice to say, the Portuguese players probably weren't completely focused on the game. Yes, they want to win. Maybe they want to do it for Portugal. But when such a hero of your country is killed like that, so young, and so, it's like, what a sport after that. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of the context of the game. Everyone was playing tribute to him. So that, the mood was kind of like it's bigger than football. So going into this game, I think the Portuguese players and the Portuguese Federation and the Portuguese fans, everyone kind of is your head completely in it. I guess that's fair to say. And going up against Spain, we already knew that there was going to be a tough battle for them. But the final score was 5-0. Questions about Spain. Were they going to win big? Were they going to dominate? And they really did. Going a little bit into the game, in the second minute, our girl Esther scored.
Yeah, that was the best.
Yeah, we were so pumped to see that. Because we're big Gotham fans. But, you like to see the NWSL players do well. And we're big fans of Esther. So seeing her... Oh.
Big fan.
Yes. And then just 7 minutes later, Vicky Lopez scored as well. So it started out rough for Portugal. What did they call Esther? The big brace machine. They have a saying for her in the NWSL because she scores a lot of braces, which is 2 goals. Yeah, they have a nickname for her, but she scored again in the 43rd minute. Actually, Alexia scored in the 41st minute, and then Spain scored again in the 90th plus 3 minutes. So it ended up 5-0. But a lot of context going into, even for Spain. I told Sarah this. Sarah had not realized this, that Jenni Hermoso was famously not on this roster. And a lot of people are saying maybe one of the reasons why she wasn't on this roster was because of retribution for the whole Luis Rubiales trial. And Tomé, the coach of the Spain team, publicly supported Luis Rubiales. So she was on the roster. Then again, a player like Wendy Renard, who plays for France, wasn't included on her roster either. So a lot of people are just saying they're going with youth. A lot of these teams are just going with youth.
Yeah, it just kind of makes you think it was probably retribution. Jerks.
Yeah. So we had that storyline going on. Also the storyline of Aitana Bonmati. She had viral meningitis. She was recovering.
And she's back. She came in the 80th minute with 10 minutes to play. Yeah, and she looked great, but I can't believe she was back so soon.
Yeah, and a lot of people said, why bring her back? Why have her play even just for a game? Why bring her back? And then the commentators were just saying, it's good to get in that rhythm having her back. Yes, at that point, they were already going to win the game. Yes, at that point, do you need her in? But the commentators were saying, hey, bring her in. It helps with the rhythm. It helps with the flow. It helps the team. So she was back. Also, Paredes, she had a red card. She was suspended for this game, basically. So she wasn't in there. Luckily, they didn't need her. They showed her in the stands, but she wasn't playing this game. So that was another storyline. Also, Cata Coll had tonsillitis.
Falling apart over there.
She had tonsillitis, and so the backup keeper had only had 3 international appearances. So a lot of things were going on for the Spanish team as well. And I don't know the update on Cata Coll. I don't know if she'll be back. Tonsillitis, it can be very serious. Hope she's okay. Paredes, I'm assuming he's going to be back next game. Spain has a lot going on, but they were dominant. I don't think Portugal's heads, they wanted to win it, but we have to be realistic when a tragedy strikes like that. So in every single game, they've been giving a moment to Jota at the beginning at the moment, which I think is very sweet. But that's hard for Portugal, Did everyone see that? So 5-0, Spain starts their campaign off strong. They're probably going to win their group. I mean, they look great, especially with everything going on. Then we're just going to touch on the Belgium match. Out of every match that's played so far, even including the games today, that match was kind of boring.
Oh dear.
It wasn't the most exciting match, but a final score of 1-0. And the player we have been on the lookout for, because she was included in our Couples of the Euros video, Ariana Caruso, she was the game winner, the goal scorer. I mean, also because we're going to get to it, another person who was included in our Couples of the Euros, Lea Schüller, scored today. So
couples represent.
Yeah. Italy looked good. I kind of half watched that game, but excited for Italy. I do think it's going to be Spain and Italy getting out of their Group B. Then today, Group C. This was the Battle of Hardersson. Denmark versus Sweden.
But very sad news. Magda didn't play.
I know. I was so bummed not to see. I was looking around the lineup, and then I read a comment just said she isn't full fitness because of her calf. Her calf isn't full fitness, so she didn't play. And I guess so I was really bummed to see that. I mean, she's one of my favorite players, but no Hardersson.
But at least we had Pernille.
Yes. And man, I felt I low-key was rooting for Denmark. I'm a Swedish fan, but I was low-key rooting for Denmark.
Everyone knows I was high-key rooting for Denmark. Let's go, because sorry, Sweden.
Sarah's never going to get over the World Cup. I don't think until the day you die. I really don't.
It's going to be on my headstone. Yeah.
So no Hardersson rematch, but Sweden versus Denmark, they are always their rivals. They played a month ago, and as we know, Sweden won, but Denmark really made this close. But also going into the match, Rolfo was not playing. I was surprised about that, but she is still coming back from injury. So so the lineup was a little bit different. And I will say one of the biggest moments actually happened in I think like the 8th minute. There was a VAR check for a handball for Sweden. And I've heard this is kind of controversial. I've heard some people think it wasn't controversial. But the Swedish defender went down. It touched her hand. And some people think it was a handball and some people don't. Even the commentators, I'm trying to remember what they think. I think they thought it wasn't. And that's what the ref decided, that it wasn't. But some people said her hand was in an unnatural position. And then some said, no, she got clipped from behind and she fell. And so, of course, it was not a VAR. So I think that was a little bit controversial in that. But I do agree with the ref. 13 minutes in, having that decided right then, I don't know. I think it was fair, but it was a tight game. Another kind of crazy moment was in like the 43rd minute. Amazing free kick and amazing save. That's the worst, when it's an amazing free kick and then an amazing save. Sweden, a free kick right in front of the goal. And not only was the free kick incredible, the Danish goalie's save was incredible. Had a great, powerful, accurate type kick and then a great save. So that was hard. And then going into halftime, it was still 0-0. Denmark was doing a good job defending. It was a really close game. I think going in the second half, it really was anyone's game. Second half, that is when the one and only goal happened, and it was a beauty. It was a matter of time before Sweden scored in a lot of ways, but in the 54th minute, Angeldahl had a beautiful shot, just snuck it right by the goalie, and that was the one and only goal. Beautiful. I mean, it kind of was a matter of time, but Denmark was doing a really good job because really, Sweden is one of the favorites of the competition, one of the top 5 favorites of the competition. So people think, okay, Sweden's going to get out of the group. They could win the whole thing. So for Denmark to do so well. And then Leanne kept saying something so funny. She kept saying the Denmark goalie, she kept punching the ball with her gloves.
Leanne was critiquing the punches. No, she was critiquing her for punching the ball so much. She said she thought she should have more control. But I don't mind. I like a good punch of the ball. It's fine. Boxing, soccer, it's the same.
To me, the punching almost makes more sense because you want to just get it away. And then actually in the 50, I don't know, remember there was one. Bjorn had a beautiful save with her foot. Then in the 61st minute, there was this, I'm not sure who the defender was, but this Danish defender, oh my goodness, she threw her body in front of this ball all by herself.
She was the acting goalie for a second.
It was crazy the way she threw her body in front of the ball. So Denmark really was putting their life out there on the line.
Yeah, totally.
Pernille Harder came 3 inches away from scoring. A beautiful ball. It hit right at the top of the crossbar. That would have been the equalizer. And Sarah, I am not saying I wanted the Danish team to win. And I'm not saying I wanted them to tie. But that would have been great. If Pernille would have scored in the 80th minute, I would have loved it.
Hey, I was rooting for him. I wanted to win.
Yeah. And then the other thing that happened was Pernille actually got hurt. I'm actually not sure what happened, but a bloody mess out there. She got an elbow and there was blood.
Talk about putting your body on the line.
Yeah. So basically, the Danish team was doing everything they could. Unfortunately, it was not enough, and the final score was 1-0 Sweden. But it was a good game. It was a hard-fought game. It was an edge-of-your-seat type game. It was an exciting game. Fun game. I think most people anticipated Sweden winning, but it was really close. Denmark could have easily tied that game. They easily could have won. They could have won that game. So did everyone see that? Then the other big game today, Group C, was Germany versus Poland. Now, this game, a lot of people thought it might have been like the Spanish-Portuguese game. You have Germany, one of the favorites of the tournament to win, 8-time European champions, going up against first-time participants, as they say, debutantes, Poland. You're thinking, okay, is this going to be 5-0? Is this going to be 6-0? But it wasn't, and it was a close game. It ended up 2-0. And in the first minute and a half, I don't know if they considered this a shot on goal, but Ann Catherine was making saves in the first minute from Poland.
Yeah, you were shook.
Yeah, I barely sat down, and all of a sudden this was happening. So it was not an easy game. And also, I'm going to let everyone know the truth. We all know Paior. She plays for Barcelona. Superstar. I had zero idea she was Polish. I thought she was Spanish. I basically thought, okay, Paior was Spanish, and then all of a sudden, wait, she's Polish? I had no idea because I know she plays for Barcelona, and Paior kind of sounds like, doesn't necessarily sound like a Polish name, but that doesn't really mean anything either. And she's a superstar. Everyone knows she's a superstar. And she didn't make it easy. No. Now, did she score or anything? No. And she had a lot of weight on her shoulders, but she's such a big presence. And she had a few shots on goal, but the first goal almost came from Poland in the 24th minute. Poland, there was points in this game where I thought, is Poland going to win? Is Poland going to draw? It was very close. She went 1-on-1 with AKB. And she didn't score, but that was a close goal call. They said it would have been offsides, I believe. Then this is where it kind of got serious for Germany because Gwen, she went down, and as we're filming this now, we don't have an update, but it doesn't look good. You remember, I was seeing this when it happened. She hurt her knee. Apparently, they're going to do an MRI and determine what the injury it is. So it doesn't look good. But you know what this reminded me of? When she went down, And when she was taken out of the game, remember when Keira Walsh was taken out of the World Cup and we didn't think she was going to return? Oh my gosh, Keira didn't return. Then she ended up returning in the last few games. Yeah. I'm praying this happens to Gwen, but say she did do her ACL, this would be her third time because she missed 2 years of play because of injury. So I'm almost sick about it. I was so upset.
Yeah, you can't see, but my mouth is on the floor.
Yeah. So we will see what goes on, but she was taken out. That's kind of the big news. Ugh, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look very good, but we just don't know yet. And we'll see what happens. She was crying. Let's hope that she's able to come back. Let's hope it's not her ACL. Even if she doesn't come back to the Euros, hopefully it's not her ACL. You know what I mean? That was kind of the worst part of the game in a lot of ways. Then going into halftime, still 0-0. Coming back from halftime, I guess I'll go right to the goal. In the 52nd minute, Brand scored. Beautiful goal. Put Germany up. Then in the 66th minute, Lea Schüller scored. But there was a few opportunities she kind of missed. And so thankfully she got that goal. It was beautiful. It was a header. Germany had a few misses, almost like open goal type missed shots. Then also Poland, the Polish team did as well. So in the 80th minute, Pior, AKB, made a beautiful save. Could have been a different story. Only down 1 goal, but beautiful save.
That's all right, KB.
Exactly. And I was thinking this, Esther scored, AKB, NWSL players. So hey, it's good that they're in season. A lot of these players are not in season, but AKB, Esther are in season. But at the very end, the commentators were talking about, Poland made it hard for them. The commentator said Germany were not as fluid as they should have been or should be at this point. And Poland were dangerous. I do still think they're getting out of their group, Germany. I don't think Poland's going to advance, but by today's efforts, they put on a good show. And then I saw a comment on Instagram saying something like, this is what happens when you overhype Germany, because a lot of people are saying Germany to win, Germany to win. When you're overhyped, it's almost nice to people not thinking you're going to win. You know what I mean? But Poland made it hard. Now, I don't think Poland's getting out of the group. And I don't know if Gwen is out. This is major. And it's, I don't know. It happens every major tournament. Every major tournament we have an injury. Remember when Sam Kerr was injured at the World Cup right before, and she ended up getting back into the games. But, and then also, Alexia Putellas tore her ACL the night before the Euros 3 years ago, or 4. 3/4 with COVID. So this sucks. I hope she's not done for the tournament. I hope she did not do her ACL. It would be devastating, not just because of it's her third, but because of for the morale of the team as well. So I just hope not. But what did everyone think? England versus France, big game. That will be a huge game. And then the Netherlands versus Wales. Now I think Netherlands is going to beat Wales. However, I did see a story on pinknews.com that Wales is officially the gayest team at the Euros.
I was just going to say that, yes. So we're rooting for Wales.
So, yeah, we will be very happy if they do well, but we'll see who wins. I think it's either going to be Netherlands. And I don't know. I don't know if France went with a very young squad for this Euros. That could help them. I think England actually look really good, but I would not be surprised if either one of those teams won, England or France. I do think England are going to win the whole thing in a lot of ways, but we'll see. But it is, we'll see what happens. Throw questions, comments down below. What do everyone think? Questions, comments down below, and we'll talk to everyone later. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.